She was supposed to be untouchable. The CEO who fired people before breakfast. The woman who'd humiliated him that very morning for being 2 minutes late. But now Vanessa Hart was stumbling drunk into traffic at midnight, and Nathan Cole had exactly 3 seconds to decide let karma do its work, or save the woman who'd made his life hell. He chose mercy. She wouldn't remember his face. But by morning, everything would change. This is the story of one night that rewrote 2 destinies. I could have let you die. Vanessa Hart opened her eyes. Her bedroom. Noon. Her head felt like someone had taken a hammer to it. Nathan Cole stood in the doorway. Security uniform. Water glass. 2 aspirin. The guard she'd destroyed yesterday. You. Her voice came out like sandpaper. Yeah. Me. Memory hid in pieces. Rain. Headlights. Hands pulling her back. A voice saying, I've got you, while her legs quit working. She sat up. The room tilted. What are you doing here? Making sure you're alive. He set the water down. Hard. Your housekeeper let me in. Why would you? Because I'm a single father raising a 10-year-old who still believes people should help each other, even when they don't deserve it. He turned to leave. You're welcome. Wait. Nathan stopped. Yesterday. What I said. I was a bully. Yeah, you called me incompetent in front of 20 people because I was 2 minutes late. My son had a fever, needed medicine before school. But you didn't ask why. Just decided I was lazy. Vanessa's stomach dropped. I didn't know about... You didn't ask. His jaw locked. But last night when you were crying in the street about your dead father, you wanted someone to listen real bad. She remembered now. All of it. Breaking down. Telling a stranger her father died that morning. That they hadn't spoken in 5 years. That she'd missed her last chance. You could have called 911. Left me there. Could have. But my mama raised me better, even if yours didn't. He walked out. Vanessa sat in her silk sheets surrounded by awards and emptiness, and felt something break inside her chest. The office whispered. Ice Queen called Nathan to her suite. She's firing him for sure. $20 says security escorts him out. Nathan stood outside Vanessa's office. 4 years at this job. Double shifts most weeks. It paid for Oliver's medicine and the apartment that leaked when it rained hard. If she fired him, he'd survive. He always did. Claire opened the door. She's ready. Nathan walked in. Vanessa sat behind her desk, but something was different. Less makeup, softer shoulders. When she looked up, her eyes held something he didn't recognize. Fear. Close the door. He did. Sit. I'll stand. Nathan, please. That word. He sat. I owe you an apology. Her hands shook on the desk. What I said yesterday was cruel. You didn't deserve it. Nathan waited. And last night, you saved my life. I was walking into traffic. I didn't care if... She stopped, swallowed. You had every reason to keep driving. Why didn't you? People aren't disposable, even mean ones. A broken laugh escaped her. That's what I am. Mean. You know what you are. Vanessa looked down. I'm giving you a week off. Paid. No. Her head snapped up. What? Don't want special treatment. I did what anyone should do. I'm not looking for a medal. You're working 70 hours a week raising your son alone. You deserve... How do you know that? I asked Claire. I realized I've worked with you for 4 years and never knew your name until last night. Shame colored her voice. Still don't know your son's name. Oliver. How old? 10. His mother. Dead. Cancer. 3 years. Silence filled the space between them. I want to help you, Vanessa said. Promotion. Better hours. Better pay. Don't need your guilt money. It's not guilt. Her voice cracked. You saw me at my worst. Drunk. Broken. Crying about a father who hated me. You could have destroyed me, sold photos, told everyone. Instead, you put me to bed and kept quiet. Tears welled. Do you understand how rare that is? What that means? Nathan softened. What happened with your father? She turned to the window. He built this company from dirt. Brilliant, brutal, impossible to please. I spent my whole life trying to earn his respect. When I made CEO, I thought he'd finally be proud. Instead, he told me I'd lost everything that made me human. Said I was cold, empty, just like him. Her voice dropped. He was right. Then change. How? Start by learning people's names. He moved to the door. I need to get back to work. Nathan. He stopped. Thank you. For not letting me die. He looked back, saw past the suit and the corner office, saw lonely, scared, drowning. You're welcome. But if you're gonna change, make it real. Don't feel bad for a week, then go back to who you were. People are watching. They'll know if it's fake. He left. Vanessa stood alone in her office and made a decision that would change everything. 3 days later, Nathan was checking the parking garage when heels clicked behind him. Mr. Cole. He turned. Vanessa Hart, but not in her usual armor. Jeans, sweater, hair down, normal. You lost? I want to talk. Away from the office. About what you said. About making it real. She stepped closer. I want to understand the life you live. The life half my employees live while I sit in my tower. You want to play poor. I want to learn. Will you teach me? Nathan studied her, looking for the angle. The PR stunt. But he only saw desperation wrapped in sincerity. Why me? Because you're the only person who's told me the truth in 10 years. Because you're raising a son on minimum wage and still had compassion for a stranger. Because I think if anyone can show me how to be better, it's you. Nathan laughed. No humor. You want humanity lessons from a night shift security guard? Yes. That's crazy. Probably, but I'm asking anyway. He thought about Oliver, the bills, the bathroom leak he couldn't fix, how this woman could destroy him with one phone call. But he also thought about her crying in the rain, the loneliness in her eyes that matched his own. Fine, but my way. No assistants, no cameras, no performance. Deal. And if you're mean to my kid, we're done. Her eyes widened. I would never. Just making sure. When do we start? Tomorrow, 6 a.m. I work the crossing guard shift at Oliver's school. You can help. 6 in the morning. Problem. She straightened. No problem. Wear comfortable shoes. The fancy ones won't cut it. As she walked away, Nathan wondered what he'd just agreed to. Vanessa showed up at 5:57 a.m. in sneakers and panic. Oliver stared from the back seat. Dad, why is your boss here? She's helping today. Why? She wants to learn how regular people live. Oliver frowned at her. Are you rich? Yes. Do you have a big house? Very big. Can I see it? Oliver? Nathan's warning voice. It's okay. Vanessa met the boy's eyes. Maybe someday. They drove to the elementary school in silence. Nathan handed her a reflective vest. Simple job. Watch for cars. Watch for kids. Keep everyone safe. That's it. That's everything. For an hour, Vanessa stood in the intersection holding a stop sign. Parents waved. Kids said good morning. One little girl gave her a dandelion. She felt more alive than she had in years. When the last child went inside, Nathan walked over. How was it? Terrifying. Every time a car came too fast. You thought they might not stop. Yes. Mrs. Patterson does this every morning. 63 years old. $12 an hour. Works 3 jobs. Can't retire. Something cracked in Vanessa's chest. That's wrong. Most things are. Nathan collected the vests. Come on. Breakfast. They ended up at a diner. Burnt coffee. Cheap pancakes. Oliver ordered chocolate chips. Vanessa got toast and watched them like she was studying a foreign language. Why did your mom die? Oliver asked. Oliver. Nathan's face flushed. It's okay. Vanessa set down her coffee. She got sick. Her heart stopped working. I was 16. Oliver nodded. My mom died too. Cancer. I was 7. I'm sorry. Dad says she's watching from heaven. You think your mom is there too? Vanessa's throat closed. I hope so. Maybe they're friends now. He went back to his pancakes like he hadn't just shattered her heart into pieces. Nathan reached across the table and squeezed his son's hand. The gesture was so full of pure love that Vanessa had to look away. When was the last time someone touched her like that? She couldn't remember. After breakfast, Nathan drove them to Hartwell Motors. As Vanessa opened the door, Oliver turned around. Ms. Hart. Yes. Thanks for helping today. You were good at it. Something warm bloomed in her chest. Thank you, Oliver. She watched them drive away in that rusty Honda and realized she'd just had the best morning of her life. The visits became routine. Every few days, Vanessa appeared. Parking garage. Oliver's school. Once at the laundromat on Sunday where Nathan washed uniforms. She never announced it, never made it a show, just showed up and helped. The office noticed. Is she dying? Maybe therapy finally kicked in. Maybe she's growing a soul. But Nathan saw the real change. One night after his shift sitting in his car, Vanessa told him about her marriage. He said I loved the company more than him. He was right. My father taught me love was weakness, that caring made you vulnerable, so I built walls. She stared at her hands. I woke up one day in an empty mansion with everything except what mattered. Nathan didn't offer platitudes, just listened. I'm 38, no family, no real friends, no one who'd miss me if I vanished. That night in the rain, I wasn't just drunk. I was done. I'd spent the day planning my father's funeral and realized we were the same, brilliant, successful, completely alone. She looked at him. You didn't just save my life. You reminded me there's still time to change the story. It's never too late. Nathan's voice was quiet. My wife used to say that, even when she was dying. When doctors said no hope. She'd hold Oliver and tell him stories and say it's never too late for magic. I didn't believe her then. But watching him grow up, he trailed off. She was right. How do you do it? Stay kind after everything, because the alternative is becoming you. He winced. That came out wrong. No. Vanessa laughed through tears. That came out perfect. 2 weeks later, Nathan was restocking supplies when his supervisor found him. Cole, conference room, now. His stomach dropped. What's this about? Just go. Nathan walked into the conference room. 5 board members sat around the table. Vanessa stood at the head. Her face was stone. Mr. Cole, thank you for joining us. The CFO, Marcus Webb, smiled like a shark. We've been hearing interesting things about you and Ms. Hart. Nathan's blood ran cold. Sir, spending time together, outside work hours, her visiting your home. Webb leaned forward. Care to explain? I'm mentoring Ms. Hart, Nathan said carefully. She wanted to understand the workforce better. Mentoring. Webb laughed. The night shift security guard is mentoring the CEO. That's rich. Mr. Webb. Vanessa's voice cut like ice. Nathan was invited by me to provide insight into employee conditions. His perspective has been invaluable. Your perspective is compromised. Another board member, Patricia Chen, spoke up. We've reviewed the hours you've been spending away from the office, the new policies you're proposing. Frankly, Vanessa, we're concerned. Concerned about what? That you're having some kind of breakdown. Webb stood. Your father just died. You're making erratic decisions, befriending employees, talking about restructuring compensation. We think you need time off. I'm perfectly fine. Then explain why you want to throw away millions on a feelings program. Webb gestured at a folder. Flexible scheduling, childcare assistance, mental health support. This isn't a charity. It's an investment in people. It's financial suicide. Patricia shook her head. Your father built this company on efficiency and results, not hand-holding. Nathan watched Vanessa's hands clench into fists. My father built this company on fear and exploitation, she said quietly. He died alone in a hospital room with no one who loved him. Is that the legacy you want to protect? Silence. I'm implementing these changes, Vanessa continued, with or without board approval. Then you'll do it without your job. Webb stood. We have the votes, Vanessa. Step down voluntarily, or we'll remove you. Nathan's heart stopped. Wait, this is because of me. This is because she's lost her mind, Webb said. And you're Exhibit A. Then fire me. Nathan stepped forward. Leave her alone. Nathan, don't. Vanessa's voice shook. He's right. I'm the problem. I'll resign today. No. Vanessa turned to the board. You want to remove me? Try it. But understand this. I'll go to every media outlet, every investor, every employee, and I'll tell them exactly what kind of company my father really built. The harassment, the wage theft, the safety violations we've buried. Her voice was steel. So ask yourselves, do you want a CEO who cares about people, or do you want me as your enemy? The room went silent. Webb's face turned purple. You're bluffing. Try me. The board members exchanged glances. Nathan saw the calculation happening, the risk assessment. We'll table this discussion, Patricia finally said. For now. Good choice. Vanessa gathered her files. Nathan, you're dismissed. Thank you for your time. Nathan walked out on shaking legs. He found Vanessa in the parking garage an hour later. She was leaning against her Mercedes, hands trembling. You threatened to destroy your own company, Nathan said. I threatened to tell the truth. You could lose everything. I already lost everything that mattered, a long time ago. She looked at him. I'm not losing this too. This, the chance to be better, to build something that doesn't crush people. She pushed off the car. To prove my father was wrong about me. Nathan stepped closer. You know they're going to fight you on everything now. Let them. Vanessa, I'm serious. This could end your career. Then it ends. Her eyes met his. But I'm not going back to who I was. I can't. You showed me what it looks like to have principles. To choose people over profit. To actually give a damn. Her voice cracked. I can't unsee that. Nathan felt something shift in his chest. Something dangerous. Why are you really doing this? He asked quietly. Because for the first time in 20 years, I woke up and didn't hate the person in the mirror. She stepped closer. Because you saw me at my absolute worst and didn't run. Because your son gave me a dandelion and I cried for an hour in my car. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Because I'm tired of being alone. The air between them charged. Vanessa. I know. I know this is complicated. I know I'm your boss. I know there are 1,000 reasons this is a bad idea. She looked up at him. But tell me you don't feel it too. Tell me I'm imagining this. Nathan's resolve crumbled. You're not imagining it. Then what do we do? I don't know. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. He ran a hand through his hair. 6 months ago, my life made sense. Get up, take care of Oliver, work, sleep, repeat. Then you stumbled into traffic and everything got complicated. Complicated how? You know how. Vanessa reached for his hand, stopped herself. Say it. Don't make me. Nathan, say it. He looked at her, really looked. Saw the woman she'd become. Still sharp, still powerful, but softer, kinder. Someone who learned crossing guard routes and asked about his son's homework. Someone who made him feel things he'd buried with his wife. I think about you, he said quietly. More than I should. When I'm at home, when I'm working, when Oliver asks why I'm smiling at nothing. He stepped closer. You're in my head, and I don't know how to get you out. Why would you want to? Because this can't go anywhere. You're the CEO. I'm the only person who treats me like a human being. Vanessa interrupted. The only person I trust. The only person whose opinion matters more than the board's or the shareholders or my dead father's. Her eyes glistened. So don't tell me this can't go anywhere. It's already gone somewhere. Nathan's breath caught. If we do this, everything gets harder. People will talk. Your board will lose their minds. My son comes first, always. I wouldn't want it any other way. And when you wake up one day and realize this was a mistake, then I'll deal with it. She finally took his hand. But right now the only mistake would be walking away from something real because we're scared. Their fingers intertwined. Nathan looked down at their joined hands and felt the ground shift beneath his feet. I got a job offer, he said. 2 weeks ago, Denison Industries, security supervisor, double my salary. Vanessa went still. What? I was going to take it. For Oliver. Better pay. Better hours. He met her eyes. But then you showed up in jeans asking to learn about crossing guards, and everything changed. Are you still taking it? I don't know. He pulled his hand back. Part of me says yes. It's the smart choice, the safe choice, the choice my wife would want me to make. And the other part wants to stay, to see where this goes, to wake up and not dread coming to work. And he paused. To keep having coffee with you in parking garages at midnight. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. I can't ask you to turn down that job for me. You're not asking. I'm deciding. Nathan. But I need to know something first. He stepped closer. Is this real? Or is this gratitude because I can't risk my son's future on something that might fade when you don't need saving anymore? The question hung between them like smoke. Vanessa wiped her eyes. I don't know. Nathan felt his heart crack. Okay. No. Listen. I don't know because I've never felt this before. I don't know if it's real or gratitude or loneliness or all three mixed together. She grabbed his hand again. But I know I count the hours until I see you. I know your son's laugh makes me cry. I know I'd burn my whole career down to protect you from my board. And I know that scares me more than anything in my entire life. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. She squeezed his hand. So, here's what I propose. You decide about the job based on what's best for Oliver. Not for me, not for us, just him. And whatever you choose, I'll support it, even if it means you leave. And if I stay, then we figure it out, slowly, carefully. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people who found each other in the rain and decided not to let go. Nathan searched her face, looking for doubt, for hesitation. But all he saw was raw honesty wrapped in terror. "I'll think about it," he said finally. "That's all I ask." They stood in the garage, hands still joined, both knowing they'd crossed a line they couldn't uncross. "I should go," Nathan said. "Oliver's home alone." "Of course." He started to leave, stopped, turned back. "Vanessa." "Yeah. For what it's worth, I hope I stay too." He walked away before she could respond. Vanessa stood alone in the parking garage, holding the ghost of his hand in hers, and let herself cry for the first time since she was 16 years old. That night, Nathan sat at his kitchen table, the job offer spread in front of him. Oliver was asleep. The apartment was quiet except for the drip from the bathroom leak. 2 paths, security supervisor. Double salary, stability, safety. Or stay. Fight. Risk everything for something that might not even be real. His phone buzzed. A text from Vanessa. "Whatever you decide, thank you for reminding me what it feels like to be human. That gift is worth more than you'll ever know." Nathan stared at the message for a long time. Then he picked up the job offer and did something he never thought he'd do. He wasn't sure if it was the smart choice. But for the first time in 3 years, it felt like the right one. The next morning, Nathan walked into Vanessa's office. She looked up, hope and fear warring in her eyes. "I made a decision," he said. "And I called Dennison, told them I'm declining the offer." Vanessa stood. "Nathan, you didn't have to." "I'm not finished." He held up a hand. "I'm staying at Hartwell, but not because of you. Because of what you're trying to build. This program, these changes. If you're serious about making this company better, you're going to need people who believe in it. People who've lived the life your employees live." He stepped forward. "So I'm staying, as your employee. Nothing more. Not yet. Not yet. We do this right, slow, professional. No secret meetings. No parking garage confessions. You fix your company. I do my job. And maybe if we're lucky we figure out if this thing between us is real." Vanessa smiled through tears. "That's a terrible plan." "You got a better one." "No." She laughed. "No, I really don't." "Then it's settled." They stood across the desk from each other, the space between them charged with possibility and restraint. "For the record," Vanessa said quietly, "I think you made the right choice." "For the record," Nathan replied, "I think I'm terrified." "Good, me too." And in that moment, standing in the light of a new day, both of them understood that terrified was exactly where they needed to be. Because the best things in life started with fear and ended with courage, and they were just getting started. The announcement came 3 days later. Vanessa stood before the entire company in the main assembly hall. 500 employees. Nathan watched from the back, arms crossed, while whispers rippled through the crowd. "What's this about? Think she's selling? Maybe more layoffs." Vanessa gripped the podium. "I'm here to announce the Hartwell Hearts Initiative. Effective immediately, every employee gets flexible scheduling options. Every parent gets childcare assistance. Every person in this room gets access to mental health support at no cost." Silence. Then chaos. "Is this a joke? Who's paying for this?" Marcus Webb stood from his seat in the front row. "Ms. Hart, the board hasn't approved this." "The board doesn't have to. I'm using discretionary funds my father left me. $50 million. It's mine to spend how I choose." She looked directly at Nathan. "And I choose to spend it on people." The room erupted, half cheering, half shouting questions. Nathan felt every eye turn to find him in the back. They knew. After the meeting, Nathan was cornered in the hallway by 3 coworkers. Danny from maintenance, Lisa from accounting, Greg from logistics. "So, you're sleeping with the boss now?" Danny's smile was all teeth. "That how you kept your job?" "I'm not sleeping with anyone." "Right. She just gave away 50 million because she's suddenly Mother Teresa. Lisa laughed. Come on, Cole. We're not stupid. You need to back off. Nathan's voice went low. Or what? You'll have your girlfriend fire us. Greg stepped closer. Must be nice. Rest of us work our asses off while you get special treatment. Nathan's fists clenched. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Greg jabbed a finger at his chest. You've been playing guard for 4 years. Suddenly the CEO's obsessed with helping single parents. Real subtle Cole. Walk away, Greg. Make me. Nathan took one step forward when a voice cut through the tension. Is there a problem here? Vanessa appeared beside them. Ice in her eyes, fire in her voice. The 3 employees scattered like roaches. Nathan exhaled slowly. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. She watched them leave. How bad is it? Bad. They think I'm sleeping with you for favors. Are they wrong? Nathan looked at her sharply. You know they are. I know, but they don't. She turned to face him. This is what I was afraid of. The program's barely started, and you're already a target. I can handle it. Can you? Because it's only going to get worse. Nathan's jaw tightened. Then I'll deal with worse. I told you I'm staying. Nathan. We're not having this conversation again. He started walking. I have work to do. Vanessa watched him go and felt something twist in her chest. She'd wanted to change the company. Instead, she'd painted a target on the one person who didn't deserve it. That evening, Nathan picked Oliver up from school. His son climbed in the back seat, face stormy. Bad day. Tyler said you're dating your boss, and that's why we're gonna be rich. Nathan's hands tightened on the wheel. Tyler needs to mind his business. Are you dating her? No. But you like her. Nathan glanced in the rearview mirror. What makes you say that? You smile when she texts, and you talk about her at dinner, and last week when she brought us cookies you looked at her like Mom used to look at you. The words hit like a punch. Oliver. It's okay if you do, Dad. Like her, I mean. Oliver picked at his backpack strap. Mom would want you to be happy. Nathan pulled over, turned around. Come here. Oliver unbuckled and climbed to the front seat. Nathan pulled him close. I do like her, he said quietly. But it's complicated. She's my boss, and people at work are saying things that aren't true. Things that might make life harder for us. What kind of things? That I'm getting special treatment, that I'm using her. Oliver frowned. But you're not. I know, but sometimes people believe what they want to believe. So what do we do? Nathan looked at his son. 10 years old and already carrying weight no kid should have to. We keep our heads down. We do the right thing. And we trust that the truth will win. Does it always win? I don't know, buddy. I really don't know. They sat in the car while traffic moved past them, father and son holding on to each other against a world that suddenly felt a lot less safe. 2 weeks later, the board called an emergency meeting. Vanessa sat at the head of the table surrounded by hostile faces. The numbers are in, Marcus Webb said. Your little charity project is costing us $3 million a month. Production's down. Morale is divided. Half the workforce thinks you're playing favorites. Morale is divided because you're spreading rumors, Vanessa shot back. I've seen the internal emails, Marcus, the ones where you suggest Nathan Cole is sleeping his way up the ladder. Webb's face hardened. I suggested no such thing. Then explain this. She slid a printed email across the table. From your account. To 15 department heads. Quote, keep an eye on the Cole situation. Hart's judgment is clearly compromised. End quote. Silence dropped like a bomb. I was expressing concern for your well-being, Webb said carefully. You were starting a witch hunt. Vanessa stood. And it stops now. Nathan Cole has done nothing wrong. The Hearts Initiative is separate from any personal relationship I may or may not have. And if anyone in this room continues to spread false information, I will sue them personally for defamation. Patricia Chen cleared her throat. Vanessa, we're not the enemy here. We're trying to protect you. And the company. Protect me from what? From actually caring about employees, from treating people like human beings instead of line items, from making emotional decisions that could destroy everything your father built. My father built a prison. Vanessa's voice shook. He died alone because he valued profit over people. If following his example means ending up like him, I'd rather burn the whole thing down. Then maybe you should step aside, Webb said coldly. Before you do exactly that. Is that a threat? It's a reality check. You have 6 months to show ROI on this Hearts Initiative, or we're pulling the plug. And you. He pointed at her. We're voting to remove you as CEO. Vanessa's blood ran cold. You can't do that. We can. We have the votes. 6 months, Vanessa. Make it work or you're out. The meeting ended. Vanessa sat alone in the conference room, staring at the wood grain of the table, feeling the walls close in. Nathan found her there an hour later. They gave me 6 months, she said without looking up. 6 months to prove the program works, or they fire me and shut it all down. Nathan pulled out a chair, sat. Can you do it? I don't know. We're bleeding money. Employees are fighting. Half love the changes. Half think I've lost my mind. She finally looked at him. And they're using you to destroy me. Let them. Nathan. I mean it. Let them come after me. Let them say whatever they want. You focus on making this work. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm telling you. He leaned forward. You stood up to your board for me, for Oliver, for every person in this company who's been invisible. So yeah, people are talking. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm not backing down, and neither should you. Vanessa felt tears burn. What if I fail? What if they were right and I'm just emotional and naive and... Hey. Nathan reached across the table, stopped himself, pulled back. You're not naive. You're brave. There's a difference. Brave people don't cry in conference rooms. Sure they do. Brave just means you do it anyway, even when you're scared. They sat in the charged space between them. So close, so far. I miss talking to you, Vanessa whispered. Really talking. Not like this. Not across desks and in conference rooms where people might see. I know. It's been 2 weeks since we've had coffee. Since you've told me about Oliver. Since I've felt like I could breathe. Vanessa. I know we agreed to be professional. I know we're doing the right thing. But God. Nathan, I'm so tired of doing the right thing. Nathan's resolve cracked. Saturday. Oliver has soccer practice at noon. If you happen to show up at the park, I can't stop you from watching. That wouldn't be professional. Probably not. People might see. They might. We said we'd go slow. We are going slow. He stood. This is me going slow. If I was going fast, I'd tell you that I think about you every morning when I wake up. That I dream about you. That Oliver asks me every day when Ms. Hart is coming back over because he likes when I'm happy. He stopped at the door. But I'm going slow, so I won't say any of that. He left. Vanessa sat in the empty room and let herself smile for the first time in 2 weeks. Saturday came. Nathan stood on the sidelines of Oliver's soccer game watching his son chase the ball with the determination of someone twice his size. He's good. Nathan turned. Vanessa stood beside him in jeans and a sweatshirt, hair in a ponytail, sunglasses hiding her eyes. You came. I happened to be in the neighborhood. We're 20 miles from your house. Long neighborhood. She smiled. How's he doing? 3 goals so far. Kid's got his mother's competitive streak. They watched in comfortable silence. Other parents shot them looks, but Nathan ignored them. "How's work?" Vanessa asked. "Tense. Greg's still spreading rumors. Danny started a pool on when you fire me." "That's horrible." "It's reality." He shrugged. "How's your 6-month deadline?" "Terrifying. I'm tracking every metric. Employee satisfaction is up, but productivity's down while people adjust to new schedules. We won't know if it's working until month 5 at the earliest." "What happens if the numbers don't improve?" "They remove me. Shut down Hearts. Everything goes back to how it was." Nathan's jaw clenched. "We won't let that happen." You think you're in this alone?" Before she could answer, Oliver scored again. The kid threw his arms up and pointed at Nathan. Then saw Vanessa and pointed at her too. "Did you see that? Did you see?" "We saw," Nathan shouted back. "That was amazing." Oliver ran back to position, grinning ear to ear. "He's happy you're here," Nathan said quietly. "I'm happy I'm here too." They stood shoulder to shoulder, not touching, watching a 10-year-old play soccer like the world made sense again. After the game, Oliver ran over sweaty and beaming. "Ms. Hart, you came?" "I did. You were incredible." "Did you see my hat trick? 3 goals, coach says if I keep it up, I might make travel team." "That's wonderful, Oliver." The boy looked between them. "Are you guys gonna hang out now?" "Oliver." Nathan started. "We could get ice cream," Oliver said hopefully. "All 3 of us. Like a normal Saturday." Nathan and Vanessa exchanged looks. "I don't want to intrude," Vanessa said. "You're not intruding," Oliver insisted. "Right, Dad." Nathan saw the hope in his son's eyes. The same hope he felt every time Vanessa showed up. "Ice cream sounds good," he said. They ended up at a small shop near the park. Oliver ordered a triple scoop that defied physics. Nathan got vanilla, Vanessa got chocolate. "Boring choices," Oliver announced. "You guys need to live more." "Says the kid with bubblegum, cotton candy, and birthday cake," Nathan said. "That's called living, Dad." Vanessa laughed, really laughed. Nathan watched her and felt something settle in his chest. This was what normal felt like. "So, Ms. Hart," Oliver said, chocolate smeared on his face. "Do you like my dad?" Nathan nearly choked on his ice cream. "Oliver, what I'm just asking. You can't just ask people that. Why not? Mom always said honesty was important." Vanessa set down her spoon, met Oliver's eyes. "Your mom was right. Honesty is important. So yes, Oliver. I like your dad very much." The boy nodded seriously. "Good. Because he likes you too. He just won't say it because he thinks I'll be upset." "Oliver." "But I'm not upset. I think Mom would like you. You're nice, and you make Dad smile again." He went back to his ice cream like he hadn't just cracked both their hearts wide open. Nathan stared at his son. "When did you get so wise?" "I've always been wise. You just don't listen." They finished their ice cream in comfortable silence. When they left, Oliver ran ahead to the car, leaving Nathan and Vanessa alone on the sidewalk. "I'm sorry about that," Nathan said. "He's 10. He doesn't understand boundaries." "Don't apologize. He's right." Vanessa looked up at him. "About all of it." Vanessa. "I know. Professional. Slow. All the things we agreed to." She stepped closer. "But that kid just gave us permission to be happy. Maybe we should listen." Nathan's resolve finally shattered. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying 6 months is a long time to pretend we don't feel this. I'm saying your son is smarter than both of us. I'm saying I'm tired of being professional when all I want is to be with you. People are watching. They're waiting for us to slip up. Let them watch. Your career means nothing if I'm miserable." She grabbed his hand. "Nathan, I've spent my whole life being careful, being professional, building walls, and it got me nowhere except alone. You tore those walls down, you and Oliver. You showed me what matters, and what matters is this, us, right here. Nathan looked at their joined hands, at Oliver waiting by the car, at Vanessa's face full of hope and fear. You're sure? I've never been more sure of anything. He squeezed her hand. Then we do this. Really do this, but my way. Oliver comes first. Always. And the first time your board uses this against you, the first time it hurts the program, we stop. Agreed. And no secrets. We tell people, no hiding. Agreed. And if this blows up in our faces, then it blows up. Vanessa pulled him closer. But at least we'll go down fighting. Nathan smiled. You're kind of intense, you know that. You're just figuring that out now. They stood on the sidewalk, hands clasped, while Oliver shouted from the car. Dad, are you guys kissing? Because if you're gonna kiss, you should do it now so I can tell my friends. Nathan and Vanessa both laughed. Not yet, buddy, Nathan called back. Why not? Because when I kiss her, I want to do it right, not in a parking lot in front of a nosy 10-year-old. Oliver groaned. That's so boring. Vanessa looked up at Nathan. When then? When the moment's right. And when will that be? I'll know it when I see it. They walked to the car together, hands still joined, while Oliver provided commentary on their entire relationship. You guys are so slow. Mom and Dad kissed on their second date. This is like your 10th date and nothing. I'm gonna die of old age before you guys figure this out. But Nathan and Vanessa weren't listening. They were too busy trying not to laugh. Too busy feeling like maybe, just maybe, things were going to be okay. Monday morning shattered that illusion. Nathan arrived at work to find his locker vandalized. Someone had spray-painted CEO's pet across the door. Photos of him and Vanessa from the soccer game were taped underneath. His stomach dropped. Security footage showed 3 masked figures breaking in at 2 a.m. Untraceable. When Vanessa found out, she went nuclear. Who did this? I don't know. I want names. I want them fired. I want... Vanessa, stop. Nathan grabbed her arm. This is exactly what they want. You lose your temper, you prove their point. That you're emotional. That I'm a liability. You're not a liability. To your board I am. To half your employees I am. He gestured at the locker. This is just the beginning. Then what do? We stay calm, we document everything, and we let them make the next mistake. But the attacks didn't stop. Over the next week, Nathan found his tires slashed. Oliver was bullied at school about his dad's sugar mama. Anonymous emails flooded HR claiming Nathan was embezzling from the Hearts Initiative. Every accusation was investigated. Everyone came up empty. But the damage was done. 2 weeks before Vanessa's 3-month review with the board, Nathan found her in her office at midnight surrounded by financial reports. You should go home. She didn't look up. Numbers aren't adding up. What do you mean? The Hearts Initiative is over budget. Way over. We should be at 2.8 million spent. We're at 3.9. Nathan frowned. Where'd the extra million go? That's what I'm trying to figure out. She rubbed her eyes. If I can't account for it, the board will use it to shut everything down. Let me help. Nathan, you should go home to Oliver. He's at a sleepover. I'm here. Let me help. They spent the next 4 hours combing through expense reports, cross-referencing invoices, building spreadsheets. At 2 a.m., Vanessa found it. There. She pointed at the screen. Medical claims. We've had 847 filed, but we've only got 612 employees enrolled in the program. Someone's filing false claims. A lot of someone's, all traced back to one approver. She clicked through the files. Marcus Webb. Nathan's blood ran cold. Your CFO is embezzling from your own program. Looks like it, making it look like Hearts is bleeding money so the board will shut it down and remove me. She leaned back. That son of a bitch. What do? We take this to the board, with evidence. We end him. But when they compiled the evidence by morning, they found something worse. The fraudulent claims weren't just Webb. They were tied to 6 other executives, all board members, all working together to sabotage the Hearts initiative. "They've been planning this from the start," Vanessa whispered. "They let me announce, let me spend my father's money, then used it to destroy me." Nathan paced. "Can you prove it? Every transaction, every fake claim, every forged signature, it's all here." "Then we go to the authorities. If I do that, the company tanks, the stock crashes, hundreds of people lose their jobs." She buried her face in her hands. "Either I let them win or I destroy everything trying to stop them." Nathan knelt beside her chair. "There's a third option." "What?" "We leak it, anonymously, to the press, to the SEC. Let them come after the board without it being traced back to you." Vanessa looked at him. "That's risky." "Everything about this is risky." He took her hand. "But you didn't start this fight to lose, and you're not going down without swinging." She squeezed his fingers. "You're right." "Of course I'm right. I'm very wise." He smiled. "My son told me so." Vanessa laughed through tears. Then she did something she'd been wanting to do for weeks. She kissed him. Not gentle, not tentative, but fierce and desperate and full of every emotion they'd been holding back. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Nathan touched her face. Was that the right moment? "I don't know, but I couldn't wait anymore." "Good, because neither could I." They kissed again. And for just a moment, surrounded by evidence of betrayal and financial conspiracy, they forgot about everything except each other. But reality crashed back when Nathan's phone rang. Oliver's friend's mom. Panicked. "Nathan Oliver had an asthma attack. We called 911. They're taking him to Memorial Hospital." The world stopped. Nathan grabbed his keys. Vanessa grabbed hers. "I'm coming with you." "You don't have to." "I'm coming." They ran to the parking garage together. The stolen kiss, forgotten. The board conspiracy, forgotten everything, forgotten, except getting to Oliver. Because some things mattered more than careers or programs or revolutions. And Oliver was everything. They hit every red light between the office and Memorial Hospital. Nathan's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Vanessa sat beside him, silent, her hand on his arm. "He's going to be okay," she said. "You don't know that." "Yes, I do. He's strong, like his father." Nathan didn't answer. Couldn't. His mind was replaying every asthma attack Oliver had ever had. The one at age 7 that landed them in the ER for 2 days. The one at 9 where his lips turned blue before the inhaler kicked in. Each time Nathan had sworn he'd never let it happen again. Each time he'd failed. They pulled into the emergency entrance. Nathan was out before the car fully stopped. Vanessa parked and ran after him. Inside the ER was chaos. Screaming babies, bleeding teenagers, an old man having a heart attack. Nathan shoved through to the desk. "Oliver Cole, 10 years old, asthma attack. Where is he?" The nurse checked her computer. "Room 7, through those doors, but only immediate family." Nathan was already moving. Vanessa followed until a security guard stepped in front of her. "Ma'am, you can't go back there." "I'm with him. Family only. I'm his." Vanessa stopped. What was she? His father's girlfriend, his dad's boss, a woman who'd known him for 3 months. "I'm sorry, ma'am. You'll have to wait here." Vanessa watched Nathan disappear through the double doors and felt more helpless than she'd ever felt in her life. Nathan found room 7. Oliver lay on the bed, oxygen mask over his face, looking so small against the white sheets. A doctor stood beside him taking notes. "Oliver." The boy's eyes opened. "Dad." Nathan grabbed his hand. "I'm here. I'm right here. I couldn't breathe. It happened so fast. We were playing video games and then I couldn't." His voice cracked. "Shh. It's okay. You're okay now." The doctor cleared his throat. "Mr. Cole, I'm Dr. Patel. Oliver had a severe asthma attack triggered by what looks like a dust allergy. His friend's basement hadn't been cleaned in a while. We've given him albuterol and a steroid. He's stable now, but I want to keep him overnight for observation. Whatever you need to do." "There's something else." Dr. Patel pulled Nathan aside. His inhaler was expired by 6 months. Nathan's stomach dropped. "What? When was his last pulmonologist appointment?" "I don't know. 8 months? 9. He needs to be seen every 6 months. His medication needs adjusting. His current dosage isn't cutting it." The doctor's voice was gentle but firm. "I know it's expensive. I know insurance doesn't always cover everything, but this is serious, Mr. Cole. Next time we might not get to him fast enough." Nathan felt shame burn through him. He'd been working double shifts, focusing on Vanessa, on the program, on everything except what mattered most: his son. "I'll make an appointment," he said quietly. "First thing Monday." "Good. I'll have the nurse bring paperwork. We'll move him to a room upstairs soon." The doctor left. Nathan sat beside Oliver's bed and buried his face in his hands. "Dad." "Yeah, buddy. I'm sorry." Nathan looked up. "What? No. You have nothing to be sorry for. I forgot my inhaler at home. If I'd remembered, this isn't your fault. It's mine. I should have checked your medication. Should have taken you to the doctor. Should have—" His voice broke. "I'm supposed to take care of you, and I dropped the ball." "You take care of me every day." "Not enough. Not well enough." "Dad, stop." Oliver pulled off his oxygen mask. "Mom used to say you can't control everything. Remember? She said life happens, and we just do our best." "Your best almost died tonight." "But I didn't. I'm right here, and you're here, and that's what matters." Nathan grabbed his son's hand and held on like he was drowning. Out in the waiting room, Vanessa paced. An hour passed. Then 2. She tried calling Nathan. No answer. She texted. Nothing. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. She walked up to the desk. "Excuse me, Oliver Cole, room 7. Can you at least tell me if he's okay?" The nurse looked up. Recognition flashed across her face. "You're Vanessa Hart, from Hartwell Motors." "Yes. My sister works there, in accounting. She says you changed her life with that Hearts program. Flexible hours meant she could finally go back to school." The nurse smiled. "Let me see what I can find out." She made a call. Came back 2 minutes later. "He's stable. They're moving him upstairs to room 412 for overnight observation. His father's with him." "Thank you. Thank you so much." Vanessa found a chair and finally let herself breathe. Oliver was okay. Nathan was okay. Everything was okay. Except it wasn't. Because she'd just realized something that made her blood run cold. While Nathan was here dealing with his son's medical crisis, she'd been so focused on the board conspiracy that she'd forgotten to ask the most important question. Could Nathan afford this? She pulled out her phone and made a call. "Claire, I need you to pull Nathan Cole's personnel file. I need to know his insurance coverage, deductibles, everything, and I need it now." 30 minutes later, Claire called back. "Ms. Hart, his insurance is basic coverage, high deductible, $5,000. After that, they cover 80%. "How much has he paid this year?" According to his file, he hit his deductible in March. Oliver had pneumonia. "So this will be out of pocket?" "Yes. An overnight ER stay medication observation. We're looking at probably $3,000 to $4,000. Vanessa closed her eyes. "Thank you, Claire." She hung up and made another call, this one to the hospital billing department. "Hi. I need to pay a bill for Oliver Cole, room 400, whatever it costs, all of it." "Ma'am, are you family?" "I'm his father's employer. Just send me the bill." "We can't do that without the patient or guardian's permission." "Then put it on my card and don't tell them. Call it a hospital error. Call it charity. I don't care. Just make sure Nathan Cole doesn't get a bill for his son's medical care. There was a pause. That's highly irregular. I'm aware. Can you do it or not? Another pause. I'll see what I can do. Vanessa hung up and leaned back in the uncomfortable waiting room chair. It wasn't enough. Paying a bill didn't fix the fact that Nathan was working himself to death because healthcare in this country was broken. It didn't fix the fact that he'd missed his son's doctor appointments because he couldn't afford to take time off. It didn't fix anything. But it was all she could do right now. Upstairs in room 412, Nathan sat beside Oliver's bed while his son slept. The nurse had brought him a chair that reclined into a makeshift bed, but Nathan couldn't sleep. His phone buzzed. Vanessa. Hey. How is he? Her voice was soft. Stable. Sleeping. They want to keep him overnight. I'm downstairs, in the waiting room. Vanessa, you don't have to stay. It's almost 3 a.m. Where else would I be? Nathan felt something crack in his chest. Thank you. For what? For being here. For caring. For... He stopped. I should go. I don't want to wake him. Nathan, wait. There's something I need to tell you. Can it wait? No, it can't. She took a breath. That night in the rain, when you found me, I wasn't just drunk. I wasn't just sad. I was done. I'd decided that if a car hit me, I'd let it. I wouldn't move, wouldn't fight. I'd just let it end. Nathan's blood ran cold. Vanessa, I need you to hear this, because tonight, sitting in this waiting room, not knowing if Oliver was okay, I realized something. I was so wrapped up in saving my company and fighting my board and proving my father wrong that I forgot what actually matters. People, connection, life. Her voice shook. You didn't just pull me out of traffic that night. You pulled me back from a place I didn't think I could come back from. And I never thanked you properly. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. Because you saved my life. And then you gave me a reason to live it. You and Oliver. You showed me what it looks like to fight for something real. She was crying now. So thank you. For not giving up on me, even when I'd given up on myself. Nathan wiped his own eyes. I'm glad I was there. Me too. They sat in silence, connected by phone lines, and something deeper. Come up, Nathan said finally. Room 412. I'll tell the nurse your family. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. 10 minutes later, Vanessa slipped into the room. Oliver was still sleeping. Nathan stood and without a word pulled her into his arms. She broke. All the fear and stress and pressure of the last 3 months came pouring out. She sobbed into his chest while he held her one hand on her back, the other stroking her hair. I'm so scared, she whispered. Of losing the company, of failing everyone who believed in me, of not being enough. You're more than enough. I'm not. I'm broken and damaged, and I don't know how to fix it. You don't have to fix it. You just have to keep showing up, keep trying. That's all any of us can do. She pulled back to look at him. How do you do it? Stay strong when everything's falling apart. Nathan glanced at his sleeping son. Because I don't have a choice. Oliver needs me. So I get up every day and I fight. Even when I'm tired. Even when I want to quit. I fight. I want to be like that, strong like that. You already are. You just don't see it yet. They stood in the dim hospital room, foreheads touching, while machines beeped, and Oliver breathed steadily, and the world kept spinning outside. I leaked the files, Vanessa said quietly. Before we left the office, sent everything to the SEC, to 3 major newspapers, to a federal prosecutor I know from law school. Nathan pulled back. What? The evidence against Webb and the board. I couldn't wait. If something happened to Oliver, if something happened to you, I needed to know I'd at least tried to stop them. Vanessa, that's career suicide. Maybe. But it's also the right thing. She met his eyes. My father spent his whole life building an empire. He died with no one who loved him, no one who cared, just money and power and emptiness. Her voice hardened. I'd rather lose everything trying to be good than win by being like him. Nathan cupped her face. You're nothing like him. Yay. How do you know? Because he never would have spent 3 hours in a hospital waiting room for someone else's kid. Because he never would have risked his career to protect employees he'd never met. Because he never would have let someone like me see him cry. He smiled. You're better than him, in every way that counts. Vanessa kissed him, soft, gentle, full of gratitude and grief and hope. When they broke apart, Oliver's voice came from the bed. You guys are finally kissing again. Took you long enough. They both jumped. Oliver grinned oxygen cannula in his nose, looking way too pleased with himself. How long have you been awake? Nathan asked. Long enough to know you guys are terrible at being subtle. He looked at Vanessa. Hi, Ms. Hart. Hi, Oliver. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck, but I'm okay. Dad freaked out though. He always does. I did not freak out. Dad, you cried in the car. That's called being worried. That's called freaking out, Oliver grinned. But it's okay. It means you love me. Nathan sat on the edge of the bed. More than anything in this world. I know. That's why you work so hard. To take care of me. Oliver's face got serious. But Dad, you can't do everything alone. Mom used to say that. Remember? She said everybody needs help sometimes. I remember. So maybe you should let Ms. Hart help, since she's already here and stuff. Vanessa laughed through tears. I'd like that, if your dad's okay with it. Nathan looked between them. His son. The woman he'd somehow fallen for. Two people who'd come into his life and turned everything upside down in the best possible way. Yeah, he said quietly. I'm okay with it. Oliver pumped his fist. Finally! I thought I was going to have another asthma attack just to get you guys together. Don't even joke about that, Nathan said. I'm not joking. I'm serious. You guys were taking forever. They spent the rest of the night in that hospital room. Vanessa curled up in the recliner chair. Nathan dozed in the uncomfortable bedside seat. Oliver slept with his hand in his father's. And for the first time in months, all three of them felt safe. Morning came with harsh fluorescent lights and a nurse checking vitals. Oliver was cleared to go home by noon with strict instructions about medication and follow-up appointments. Nathan signed the discharge papers, bracing himself for the bill. The nurse handed him a folder. Everything's been taken care of, she said. What, Joel? Your bill. It's paid. That's impossible. I haven't even seen the charges. The nurse shrugged. Hospital administration called it down. Sometimes charity funds cover cases. You got lucky. Nathan stared at the papers. Then at Vanessa, who was very carefully not meeting his eyes. Vanessa. We should get Oliver home. He needs rest. Vanessa. She finally looked at him. What? Did you pay my son's medical bills? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're a terrible liar. I'm an excellent liar. I just choose not to with you. She picked up Oliver's bag. Come on, let's go home. Nathan wanted to argue, wanted to tell her he didn't need her money, that he could take care of his own son. But Oliver was already up and moving, and the truth was he couldn't afford this bill. Not without going into debt, not without working more hours he didn't have. So he swallowed his pride and followed her out. In the parking lot, Oliver climbed into Nathan's car. But Nathan stopped Vanessa before she got into hers. Thank you, for the bill, for staying all night, for everything. You'd do the same for me. In a heartbeat. She smiled. I know, that's why I did it. I'll pay you back. Don't. Consider it my contribution to the Cole Family Medical Fund. Vanessa. Nathan, stop. Let someone help you for once. Let me help you. She touched his face. You've been taking care of everyone else for so long. Let someone take care of you. He leaned into her touch. I don't know how. Then learn. Starting now. She kissed him. Right there in the hospital parking lot where anyone could see. And Nathan kissed her back, finally letting go of the fear that he had to do everything alone. When they broke apart, Oliver was hanging out the car window making gagging noises. Gross. You guys are so gross. You're the one who wanted us together, Nathan called back. I wanted you to hold hands and be nice, not suck face in public. There are children present. Vanessa laughed. He's got a point. He's 10. Everything embarrasses him. I can hear you, Oliver shouted. They drove home in separate cars, but Nathan watched Vanessa's Mercedes in his rearview mirror the whole way and felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years. Hope. Back at the apartment, Vanessa helped Nathan get Oliver settled. The place was small, a 2-bedroom with peeling linoleum and a leak in the bathroom, but it was clean and filled with photos and love. Can I get you anything? Nathan asked. Coffee water apology for my disaster of a home. Your home is perfect, and coffee sounds good. They stood in the tiny kitchen while Oliver watched TV in the living room. Nathan made coffee with hands that still shook slightly from the adrenaline crash. I've never had anyone in my life like you, he said quietly. Someone who just shows up, no questions, no judgment. Just there. You deserve that. Do I? Because most days I feel like I'm barely holding it together, working 2 jobs, raising Oliver alone, trying not to drown. He handed her a mug. Then you come along and somehow make me feel like maybe I'm doing okay after all. You're doing better than okay. You're raising an incredible kid. You stood up to your boss and made her become a better person. You changed an entire company. Vanessa set down her coffee. You changed me. Nathan pulled her close. You changed me too. They stood in his kitchen, holding each other, while Oliver watched cartoons and morning light filtered through worn curtains. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a fairy tale. But it was real. And real was enough. Later that afternoon, Nathan's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Mr. Cole, this is Janet Price from the New York Times. I'm calling about documents we received last night regarding Hartwell Motors. Documents that suggest widespread fraud by multiple board members. Can you comment? Nathan's blood ran cold. I have no comment. The documents were sent from an IP address registered to Hartwell Motors. You work there, correct? I'm hanging up now. Mr. Cole, if you know anything. He ended the call, looked at Vanessa. It started. She nodded. Good. Good, Vanessa, they're going to trace this back to you. Let them try. I used an anonymous VPN, bounced the signal through 6 countries. They'll never prove it was me. You seem to know a lot about cybercrime. My father didn't raise an idiot, just a morally bankrupt one. She smiled. I learned some useful skills before I found my conscience. Nathan's phone rang again. Then again. By evening, news vans were parked outside Hartwell Motors. The SEC announced an investigation. Webb and 5 other board members were placed on administrative leave. And Vanessa's phone finally rang. It was Patricia Chen. You did this. I don't know how, but you did. I have no idea what you're talking about. The SEC is crawling all over the company. Marcus is lawyering up. The stock dropped 14% in 2 hours. Patricia's voice was ice. You just destroyed everything your father built. No, I destroyed what he corrupted. There's a difference. The board is meeting tomorrow. Emergency session. You're out, Vanessa. It's over. Then I'll go out fighting. She hung up, looked at Nathan and Oliver, who'd both been listening. I'm fired, she said calmly. Effective tomorrow. Oliver spoke first. That sucks. Oliver, Nathan warned. What? It does. Ms. Hart was trying to help people and they fired her for it. That super sucks. He's not wrong, Vanessa said. It does super suck. Nathan moved to her side. What are you going to do? Show up tomorrow. Make them fire me to my face. Go down swinging like you taught me. She smiled. And then figure out what comes next. We'll figure it out, Nathan corrected. Together. Together, Oliver echoed. Vanessa looked at them both, this man and his son, who'd somehow become her family, and felt tears burn again. Together, she agreed. That night, after Oliver went to bed, Nathan and Vanessa sat on his worn couch, drinking cheap wine and watching the news coverage of the Hartwell scandal. You think they'll arrest Webb? Nathan asked. I hope so. Him and the rest of them. They deserve it. And you, what happens to you? I don't know. Probably get blacklisted, maybe sued, definitely unemployed. She leaned against him. But I can't bring myself to regret it. Not even a little. Not even a little. She turned to face him. Because I did the right thing, finally. After 38 years of doing what my father wanted, what the board wanted, what everyone expected, I finally did what I thought was right. She smiled. That's worth more than any job. Nathan kissed her forehead. You're extraordinary. I'm terrified. You can be both. They sat in comfortable silence until Vanessa spoke again. That job offer, from Dennison. Is it still on the table? Nathan tensed. Why? Because you should take it, you and Oliver. Get out before this whole thing explodes and takes you down with it. I'm not leaving you. Nathan. I'm not leaving you. We're in this together, remember. That was before I committed corporate espionage and destroyed my own company. I don't care. You should care. You have Oliver to think about. I am thinking about Oliver. I'm thinking about what kind of man I want him to grow up to be. The kind who runs when things get hard, or the kind who stands by the people he loves. Nathan cupped her face. I'm choosing love, Vanessa. I'm choosing you. She kissed him hard, desperate, like she could pour all her fear and gratitude into that single moment. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Vanessa whispered, I love you. The words hung in the air. Nathan's eyes widened. What? I love you. I know it's too soon. I know it's crazy. I know we're in the middle of a disaster. But I love you, and I needed to say it before everything falls apart. Nathan pulled her close, buried his face in her hair. I love you too. They held each other on that worn couch in that tiny apartment, while their world burned down around them. And neither of them had ever felt more alive. The board meeting was set for 9 a.m. Vanessa arrived at 8:45 dressed in her best armor, black suit, red lipstick, hair pulled back tight. Nathan wanted to come, but she'd refused. This is my fight, she'd said that morning. I need to finish it alone. But when she walked into the conference room, she wasn't alone. Sitting in the gallery seats were 40 employees. Danny from maintenance, Lisa from accounting, Mrs. Patterson the crossing guard, all wearing homemade shirts that said, Hearts over profit. Vanessa stopped. What are you doing here? Lisa stood. We heard about the meeting. We came to support you. You could lose your jobs. So could you. Difference is, you were fighting for us. Danny crossed his arms. Time we returned the favor. Patricia Chen entered, saw the crowd, and her face went purple. This is a closed board meeting. Everyone not on the board needs to leave. Now. This is company property, Lisa said. We have a right to be here. Not in a board meeting, you don't. Then call security. Danny smiled. Oh, wait. You suspended most of them for supporting the Hearts Initiative. Guess you're stuck with us. Patricia's jaw clenched. Fine, stay. But you don't get to speak. The remaining board members filed in. Webb wasn't there. His lawyer had advised him not to show. 2 other board members had resigned overnight. That left Patricia and 3 others. Barely a quorum. Patricia called the meeting to order. We're here to discuss Ms. Hart's future with this company. Given recent events, the board moves to remove her as CEO effective immediately. On what grounds? Vanessa asked calmly. Breach of fiduciary duty, destruction of company value, unauthorized disclosure of confidential information. You mean exposing fraud? We mean leaking proprietary documents to the press and federal investigators. Patricia slid a folder across the table. We have testimony from our IT department that the leak originated from your office. My office is used by 12 people. Any one of them could have sent those files. But they didn't. You did. Patricia leaned forward. We know it was you, Vanessa. Just like we know you've been conducting an inappropriate relationship with an employee, clouding your judgment, making emotional decisions. My relationship with Nathan Cole is none of your business. It is when it affects company policy, when it leads to million-dollar programs based on feelings rather than data. The data showed that program worked. Employee satisfaction up 40%, turnover down 30%, productivity recovering. Vanessa pulled out her own folder. The only reason Hearts went over budget was because you and Webb embezzled from it. The SEC's already proven that. That's an allegation, not proven. 6 bank accounts, all traced back to board members, all funded with fake medical claims from the Hearts Initiative. Vanessa stood. You sabotaged your own company to get rid of me, and now you're trying to finish the job. One of the other board members, an older man named Richard, spoke up. Vanessa, this isn't personal. The company's stock has dropped 20% in 3 days. We're hemorrhaging value. Investors are panicking. Someone has to take the fall. Then let it be the people who actually committed crimes, Vanessa shot back. Webb, Chen, the others who stole from employees, not the person who exposed it. The board has made its decision, Patricia said coldly. All in favor of removing Vanessa Hart as CEO. 3 hands went up. Richard abstained. The motion passes. Ms. Hart, you're terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you out. The employees in the gallery erupted, shouting, booing. Lisa started a chant of, "Bring her back, bring her back." Patricia banged her gavel. This meeting is adjourned. Vanessa gathered her things. She'd expected this, prepared for it. But it still hurt like a knife between the ribs. As she walked to the door, Richard caught her arm. For what it's worth, your father would have been proud, not of the program. He'd have hated that. But of you standing up to us. He always said the strongest leaders were the ones who knew when to fight. He never fought for anything except money. That's not true. He fought for this company every day of his life. He just forgot to fight for the people in it. Richard squeezed her arm. You didn't forget. That's the difference between you and him. Vanessa nodded, not trusting her voice, and walked out. The employees followed her to her office, helped her pack her things. Photos, awards. The dandelion Oliver had given her pressed between glass. What happens now? Lisa asked. Now you go back to work. Keep your heads down. Survive. What about Hearts? Patricia will kill it, probably by end of day. Then we protest. We walk out. No. Vanessa turned to face them. You don't risk your jobs for me. You don't risk your families. You survive. That's what matters. But everything you built will matter more than you know, even if it only lasted 3 months, even if they shut it down tomorrow. You all saw that it's possible, that companies can treat people like humans, that change can happen. She smiled through tears. That's worth more than any program. They hugged her one by one and filtered out. When Vanessa was finally alone in her office, she let herself cry. Not for the job, not for the company, but for the dream that had died before it could fully take root. Her phone rang. Nathan. I heard. I'm so sorry. Don't be. I knew this was coming. Where are you? Still in my office, packing. I'm coming up. Nathan, you'll get fired. Don't care. I'm coming. He hung up. Vanessa smiled despite everything. Of course he was coming. That's who Nathan was, the man who pulled strangers from traffic and fought for lost causes and loved with his whole heart. She was still packing when he appeared in her doorway. "You're an idiot," she said. "Yeah, but I'm your idiot." He crossed the room and pulled her into his arms. She broke again, sobbing into his chest while he held her tight. "I failed," she whispered. "I failed everyone." "You didn't fail. You fought. There's a difference. The program's dead. The company's worse off than before. I accomplished nothing. You accomplished everything." Nathan pulled back to look at her. "You showed people what's possible. You stood up to corruption. You proved that doing the right thing matters even when you lose." He cupped her face. "You think those 40 employees will forget what you tried to do? You think they won't carry that forward? You think you didn't change lives?" It wasn't enough. It was everything. They stood in her empty office holding each other while security waited in the hallway to escort her out. "What now?" Vanessa asked. "Now we figure out what comes next. Together. I don't have a job. I probably won't get another one. I'm blacklisted in corporate America. Then we'll figure something else out. Nathan, I'm serious. I have money saved, but not forever. And I dragged you into this mess. You should distance yourself before—" "Stop." He pressed a finger to her lips. "I love you. That doesn't change because you lost your job. It doesn't change because things got hard. It doesn't change." He smiled. "You're stuck with me. Even though I'm unemployed and possibly facing lawsuits. Even though. You're insane." "Probably. Oliver thinks so too." Vanessa laughed through tears. "How is he?" "Good. Asking when you're coming over. Apparently he has big plans for us." "Plans? He wants to teach you how to play video games. Says you need more fun in your life." He's not wrong. They packed the rest of her things together. When security finally came to escort her out, Nathan walked beside her, past her former colleagues, past the whispers and stares, out through the lobby where she'd walked so many times before. At her car, Nathan stopped her. "Hey, this isn't the end. It's just the next chapter. What if the next chapter sucks? Then we'll write a better one after that." He kissed her forehead. "You don't give up. Remember, that's what you taught me." Vanessa drove away from Hartwell Motors for the last time and felt something unexpected. Relief. For the first time in 20 years, she didn't have to pretend, didn't have to perform, didn't have to be the ice queen or the CEO or her father's daughter. She could just be Vanessa, whoever that was. She was still figuring that out when her phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello. Ms. Hart, this is Jennifer Walsh from Walsh & Associates. We're a non-profit legal firm specializing in workers' rights and corporate accountability. I'm not interested in— We want to hire you, as a consultant, to help us build cases against companies engaging in the kind of fraud you exposed at Hartwell." Vanessa pulled over. "What? Your father's company isn't unique. This kind of corruption is everywhere. But people like you who understand corporate structure from the inside and have the courage to blow the whistle are rare." Jennifer's voice was warm. "We can't pay you CEO money, but we can pay you enough to live on, and we can give you the chance to keep fighting. On the right side this time." Vanessa's heart started racing. "When would you need an answer?" "Take a week. Think about it. But Ms. Hart, what you did took guts. A lot of people talk about making a difference. You actually did it. We'd be honored to have you on our team." They hung up. Vanessa sat in her car, hands shaking, feeling something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. She called Nathan immediately. "I got a job offer. Already, it's been 2 hours. A non-profit. Workers' rights. They want me to help expose corporate fraud." "That's amazing. Are you going to take it?" "I don't know. It's probably a quarter of what I was making, maybe less. And it means staying in this fight. More board meetings, more confrontation, more purpose," Nathan finished. "More meaning, more using your powers for good instead of profit." Vanessa smiled. "Yeah, I guess so." Then take it. If it's what you want. If it makes you happy. What about you? What makes you happy? Right now, knowing you're okay. Knowing Oliver's okay. Knowing we get to figure out this whole messy, beautiful life together. His voice softened. That's all I need. I love you. I love you too. Now get over here. Oliver's making lunch and he wants your opinion on his grilled cheese technique. His what? Just come over. Trust me. Vanessa drove to Nathan's apartment and felt lighter than she had in weeks. Maybe months. Maybe years. Oliver met her at the door wearing an apron that said "Kiss the Cook" and holding a spatula like a sword. Ms. Hart, you're here? Dad said you got fired, which sucks, but also means you can hang out more, which is awesome. So, which is it? Sucks or awesome? Definitely awesome, Vanessa said, stepping inside. And Oliver? You can call me Vanessa. Ms. Hart was my work name. I don't need it anymore. Oliver grinned. Cool. Also, I made grilled cheese, but I might have burned it a little. Okay, a lot. But Dad says it builds character. Nathan appeared from the kitchen. I said burning food builds humility, not character. Same thing. Not even close. They ate slightly burned grilled cheese and laughed about terrible jobs and worse board members and the time Oliver tried to cook spaghetti and forgot to add water to the pot. Set off every smoke alarm in the building, Nathan said. Fire department showed up. Oliver tried to convince them it was a science experiment. It was. I was testing combustion. You were 7. Science doesn't have an age limit, Dad. Vanessa watched them banter and felt something settle in her chest. This was what her father had missed. Not because he was too busy, but because he'd been too afraid. Afraid that loving people meant losing control. Afraid that opening his heart meant showing weakness. He'd died with everything except what mattered. She wouldn't make that mistake. After lunch, Oliver dragged them both to his room to show off his latest art project. A drawing of the 3 of them holding hands with a banner overhead that said family. I made it at school, he said proudly. Mrs. Roberts said to draw your family and I drew us. Is that okay? I mean, you're not married or anything, but you kind of feel like family now. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. It's more than okay. It's perfect. Cool. Can we hang it on the fridge? Absolutely. They hung the drawing with magnets while Oliver provided commentary on his artistic choices and color theory and why he made Vanessa's hair sunset orange instead of blonde. Because sunset orange is hopeful, he explained seriously. And you seem like a hopeful person now. You didn't before. Before you seemed sad. But now you smile a lot. And Dad smiles too, so I figured sunset orange. Nathan ruffled his son's hair. You're too smart for your own good. Mom always said that. She said I got it from her. You did. Your mom was the smartest person I ever met. Smarter than Vanessa. Nathan glanced at Vanessa. Different smart. Your mom was smart about people. About feelings. About making everyone feel loved. Vanessa's smart about changing things. About fighting for what's right. Different kinds of smart. Both important. Oliver nodded. Do you think they would have liked each other, Mom and Vanessa? The question hung in the air. Nathan swallowed hard. Yeah, buddy. I think they would have been friends. Good. Because I like Vanessa, and I want Mom to like her too. Even if she's in heaven and can't meet her yet. She likes her, Nathan said firmly. I promise. Oliver seemed satisfied with that and wandered off to play video games. Nathan and Vanessa stood in the kitchen, both wiping eyes. Sorry about that, Nathan said. He's been asking about his mom more lately. I think seeing us together makes him think about her. Don't apologize. He's processing. That's healthy. Is it weird him talking about her to you? No, she's part of who you are, part of who he is. I wouldn't want that to disappear. Vanessa took Nathan's hand. I'm not trying to replace her. I could never replace her. But maybe I can be someone new in his life. Someone who loves him differently, but just as much. Nathan pulled her close. You already are. They stood in the kitchen holding each other while Oliver's video game blared from the other room and afternoon light filtered through windows that needed washing. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a fairy tale. But it was theirs. Over the next week, Vanessa met with Walsh & Associates 3 times. They offered her a position as senior corporate accountability consultant. The pay was $60,000 a year, a fraction of her CEO salary. But the work was meaningful, real, important. She accepted. Nathan celebrated by taking her and Oliver out to dinner. Nothing fancy. Just a local diner with good burgers and better pie. But Oliver insisted they dress up, so they did. Nathan in a button-down. Oliver in a clip-on tie. Vanessa in a dress she'd bought specifically because it wasn't a power suit. To new beginnings, Nathan toasted with his water glass. To being brave, Vanessa added. To pie, Oliver finished. They clinked glasses and ate too much food, and laughed until their sides hurt. Walking back to the car, Oliver between them, holding both their hands, Vanessa felt something she hadn't felt since she was 16 years old. Pure, uncomplicated joy. Hey, Nathan said softly. Oliver skipping ahead to the car. You okay? Yeah, I'm really okay. No regrets. About losing the job, no. About meeting you. She smiled. Not a single one. Good, because you're stuck with us now. Is that a threat? It's a promise. He kissed her in the parking lot while Oliver made gagging noises from the car. And Vanessa kissed him back, tasting hope and pie and the future they were building one moment at a time. 2 weeks later, the news broke. Webb and 4 other board members were indicted on fraud charges. Hartwell Motors' stock tanked. Patricia Chen resigned. The company entered emergency restructuring. And the new interim CEO, brought in by the remaining shareholders, made an announcement that shocked everyone. She was reinstating the Hearts Initiative, expanding it, making it company policy. Ms. Hart's vision was ahead of its time, the new CEO said in a press conference. But it was the right vision. We're committed to making it reality. Vanessa watched the announcement from Nathan's couch, Oliver on one side, Nathan on the other. You did it, Nathan said. They're keeping Hearts. They're keeping the program. I'm still fired. But you won. The thing you fought for survived. That's what matters. Vanessa leaned against him. Yeah, I guess it is. Her phone buzzed. A text from Lisa. We did it. They're bringing Hearts back. Thank you for fighting for us. Then Danny. You changed everything. Don't forget that. Then Mrs. Patterson. 63 years old, and I finally get to retire with dignity. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Message after message. Employee after employee. All thanking her, all celebrating. Vanessa read them and cried. Not from sadness. From overwhelming, beautiful, complicated joy. See? Oliver said, looking up at her. You're a hero, just like Dad. I'm not a hero, Oliver. Yeah, you are. Dad saved you from a car. You saved lots of people from bad jobs. That's double hero points. Is that how hero points work? Obviously. Everyone knows that. Nathan laughed. Can't argue with that logic. No. Vanessa agreed, pulling them both close. I guess you can't. They spent the rest of the evening watching movies and eating popcorn and being a family. Not a traditional family. Not a perfect family. But a real one. And as Vanessa fell asleep on Nathan's couch, Oliver curled up between them, she realized something profound. Her father had been wrong. Love wasn't weakness. Connection wasn't vulnerability. Opening your heart wasn't dangerous. It was the only thing that made life worth living. She'd lost everything to learn that lesson. Her job, her reputation, her father's legacy. But she'd gained so much more. Nathan, Oliver, purpose, peace. And as Nathan's hand found hers in the darkness, Fingers intertwining, Vanessa understood that some losses were actually wins in disguise. The best ones usually were. 3 months passed. Vanessa started at Walsh & Associates and discovered she was good at fighting for the underdog. Better than she'd been at corporate warfare. Her first case involved exposing wage theft at a manufacturing plant. Her second shut down a company using illegal quotas that injured workers. Her third made national news. Nathan watched her transform. Saw her come alive in ways she never had as CEO. She'd come home from work energized instead of drained, excited instead of exhausted, talking about the people she'd helped instead of the money she'd made. "You're happy," he said one evening. They were at his apartment making dinner. Oliver was doing homework at the kitchen table. "I am. Is that weird?" "That you're happy, no. That it took losing everything to find it, maybe a little. I had to burn down the old life to build the new one." She stirred the pasta sauce. "No regrets. Not even about the penthouse, the corner office, the private jet." "I never had a private jet." "You know what I mean." Vanessa smiled. "I don't miss any of it." "Well, maybe the bathtub. Your shower's the size of a coffin." "Hey, that coffin shower has character. It has mold." "Character mold." Oliver looked up from his homework. "Are you guys fighting about the bathroom again? Because last time you fought about it for like an hour, and it was super boring." "We're not fighting," Nathan said. "We're discussing." "Sounds like fighting." "It's different." "How?" "Fighting is when people are mad. Discussing is when people disagree, but still like each other." Oliver considered this. "So you guys discuss a lot." "Yeah, we do." "But you still love each other." Nathan glanced at Vanessa. They'd said it that night after the hospital. But saying it in front of Oliver felt different. More permanent. More real. "Yeah," Nathan said quietly. "We still love each other." "Good. Because if you broke up, I'd be really mad. I already told my friends Vanessa's basically my bonus mom, and if she left, I'd look stupid." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. "Bonus mom." "Yeah, you're not my real mom because she's in heaven. But you're like a bonus level in a video game. Extra, but awesome." Oliver went back to his math. "Also, you make better pancakes than Dad, so please don't leave." "Hey," Nathan protested. "My pancakes are fine." "Dad, they're like hockey pucks. They're fluffy. They're deadly weapons." Vanessa laughed so hard she had to sit down. Nathan tried to look offended but couldn't stop smiling. This was what family felt like. Later that night, after Oliver went to bed, Nathan found Vanessa on the balcony. It wasn't much of a balcony, barely room for 2 people. But she stood there looking at the city lights like they held answers. "You okay?" he asked. "Oliver called me his bonus mom." "I heard. Is that okay?" "It's more than okay. It's terrifying." She turned to face him. "What if I mess it up? What if I'm not good at this? I don't know how to be a mother. I barely know how to be a person." "You're doing fine." "Am I? Because most days I feel like I'm faking it, like I'm going to wake up and realize I don't actually know how to love people, that it was all just gratitude or loneliness or—" Nathan kissed her, hard. When he pulled back, her eyes were wide. "Stop overthinking," he said. "You love us. We love you. That's not gratitude. That's not loneliness. That's real." "How do you know?" "Because real is messy. Real is fighting about showers and burning grilled cheese and being scared you're not enough." He cupped her face. "Real is showing up every day even when it's hard. And you show up, Vanessa. Every single day." She pulled him close. "What did I do to deserve you? You saved yourself. I just happened to be there when you needed a hand. You saved me first. No, I pulled you out of traffic. You did the hard part. You chose to live. You chose to change. You chose us." He kissed her forehead. "That was all you." They stood on the tiny balcony holding each other while the city hummed below, and Oliver slept safely inside. "Move in with us," Nathan said suddenly. Vanessa pulled back. "What?" "Move in. You're here every night anyway. Oliver wants you here. I want you here. Your apartment's too big and empty and you hate it." "Nathan, that's a huge step." "I know. We've only been together 4 months." "I know. What if it doesn't work?" "Then it doesn't work. But what if it does? What if this is exactly what we're supposed to do?" He took her hands. "I'm tired of saying goodbye at midnight. I'm tired of you leaving. I'm tired of pretending this is casual when it's the most serious thing in my life besides Oliver." Vanessa's heart raced. "You're serious?" "Completely. This is crazy." "Probably. Oliver might not actually want me here full time. Bonus mom is different than everyday mom. Let's ask him." Before Vanessa could protest, Nathan opened the balcony door and called out, "Oliver, come here for a second." "Nathan, it's almost 11. He's asleep." Oliver appeared in the doorway in his pajamas, wide awake. "I'm not asleep. I'm reading under my covers. What's up?" "How would you feel if Vanessa moved in with us?" Oliver's eyes went huge. "For real?" "For real? Like permanently?" "Like permanently." Oliver looked at Vanessa. "Would you do my laundry? Because Dad always turns my white shirts pink and says it's character building, but really it's just embarrassing." "I would do your laundry," Vanessa said, laughing through tears. "And would you help with homework because Dad's terrible at math?" "Hey," Nathan protested. "Dad, you are. Remember last week when you tried to help with fractions and made it worse? That was 1 time. It was 3 times. Vanessa smiled. "I'd help with homework." "And would you still make pancakes on Sundays?" "Every Sunday." Oliver looked between them. "Then yeah, move in. This is awesome. Can I go back to reading now?" "Sure, buddy." Oliver disappeared. Nathan and Vanessa stared at each other. "Well," Nathan said, "that was easy." "Too easy. He's 10. This is a huge change." "He's 10, and he's been through more change than most adults. His mom died. He learned to live with grief. He learned to be happy again." Nathan pulled her close. "He knows what matters, and what matters is people who love him sticking around." "I do love him. I love both of you so much it scares me." "Good. Love should be a little scary. Means it's real." Vanessa thought about her father, about his empty house and emptier heart, about how he'd been so afraid of vulnerability that he'd died alone. She wouldn't make that mistake. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay. Okay, I'll move in." Nathan picked her up and spun her around on the tiny balcony. She laughed and held on tight and felt something inside her finally settle into place. Home. She'd found home. 2 weeks later, Vanessa moved her things into Nathan's apartment. It took 3 trips. Most of her furniture went to storage. The penthouse lease was broken, her old life packed into boxes. Oliver helped unpack, providing commentary on every item. "Why do you have so many shoes?" "I don't have that many." "Dad has like 4 pairs. You have 40. "That's an exaggeration." "I counted. It's 37. Close enough?" Nathan laughed from the doorway. "Leave her alone. Everyone needs 37 pairs of shoes." "Nobody needs 37 pairs of shoes." "I do," Vanessa said firmly. "For different occasions." "Like what?" "Work shoes, casual shoes, formal shoes, running shoes." "You don't run." "I could start running." "Are you going to start running?" "Probably not." "Then you don't need running shoes." Nathan rescued her. "Oliver, go work on your science project. Let Vanessa unpack in peace." "Fine. But I'm counting her shoes later to make sure she's not hiding more." He left. Vanessa collapsed on the bed. "I'm outnumbered. Welcome to parenthood, where 10-year-olds win every argument through sheer persistence." How do you do this every day? Coffee, lots of coffee. He lay down beside her. And love. That helps too. They lay in comfortable silence until Vanessa spoke again. I got a call from Patricia Chen yesterday. Nathan tensed. What did she want? To apologize. Apparently, the SEC investigation found evidence that Webb had been blackmailing her, threatening to expose an affair from years ago if she didn't vote with him. Vanessa stared at the ceiling. She said she was wrong, that she should have been braver, that I inspired her to finally tell the truth. That must have been hard to hear. It was, because part of me wanted to scream at her, to tell her she destroyed lives to protect her reputation. But the other part remembered who I used to be, how scared I was of being exposed, how I built walls to keep people out. She turned to look at him. I was Patricia once, just with better luck and worse coping mechanisms. You're nothing like her. I'm exactly like her. We're all exactly like each other when we're scared enough. That's what my father never understood. He thought fear made you weak, but fear makes you human. It's what you do with it that matters. Nathan pulled her close. You're pretty wise for someone who owns 37 pairs of shoes. 38. I bought another pair yesterday. Of course you did. They laughed until Oliver yelled from his room that he'd finished his science project and needed them to witness his volcano eruption immediately. Life continued. Vanessa settled into Nathan's apartment and discovered she was terrible at domestic life. She burned dinner regularly, forgot to separate lights and darks in laundry, couldn't figure out the ancient thermostat that controlled their heat, but she learned, slowly, with patience from Nathan and commentary from Oliver. Vanessa, you can't put metal in the microwave. I know that now. How did you survive before us? Takeout and sheer determination. That explains so much. At work, Vanessa built case after case, exposed corruption, protected workers, made a difference in ways she never had as CEO. The money was tight, their apartment was cramped, but she'd never been happier. 6 months after moving in, Vanessa was working late at Walsh & Associates when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Ms. Hart, this is Detective Morrison with the Financial Crimes Unit. I'm calling about the Hartwell Motors investigation. Vanessa's stomach dropped. Yes. We've completed our review. All charges against you have been dropped. The evidence clearly shows you were acting to expose fraud, not commit it. You're in the clear. Relief flooded through her. Thank you. Thank you so much. There's more. Marcus Webb and the other board members took a plea deal. They're cooperating with federal prosecutors on a larger investigation into corporate fraud. Your testimony would be helpful if you're willing. I'm willing. Good. We'll be in touch. And Ms. Hart, what you did took guts. A lot of people stay quiet. You didn't. The system needs more people like you. They hung up. Vanessa sat in her office and let herself cry. Not from sadness, from overwhelming relief. She'd been living with the fear of prosecution hanging over her head. Now it was gone. She called Nathan immediately. They dropped all charges. That's incredible. We need to celebrate. How? I don't know. Dinner, champagne, whatever you want. I want to go home. To our apartment. To you and Oliver. That's all I want. Then come home. She did. And when she walked through the door, Oliver had made a banner that said, Welcome home, not criminal Vanessa, with stick figures celebrating. Oliver, where did you learn to make banners? YouTube. Also, I might have used all your printer ink. Sorry, not sorry. Nathan laughed. We'll buy more ink. This is worth it. They ordered pizza and ate on the living room floor because their table was too small for 3. Oliver told terrible jokes he'd learned at school. Nathan attempted to explain cryptocurrency and gave up halfway through. Vanessa felt more loved than she'd ever felt in her entire life. Later, after Oliver went to bed, Nathan found Vanessa on the balcony again. She was looking at the sky. What are you thinking about? He asked. That night in the rain, when you pulled me out of traffic. What about it? I was ready to die. I'd given up. And then you appeared out of nowhere and dragged me back to life, whether I wanted it or not. She turned to him. Do you ever regret it? Saving you. Yeah. Not for a second. Even though it complicated everything, even though I dragged you into corporate espionage and board meetings and Vanessa. He took her hands. You didn't complicate my life. You gave it meaning. Before you, I was surviving, working, taking care of Oliver, going through motions. But I wasn't living. Not really. Not in any way that mattered. And now I wake up excited. Now I have someone to share things with. Now Oliver has someone else who loves him. Now I have purpose beyond just getting through the day. He pulled her close. You saved me too. You just don't see it. How did I save you? By showing me it's okay to want more, to reach for happiness instead of just stability, to risk my heart again even though I lost my wife, to believe that second chances are real. He kissed her softly. You taught me how to live again. Vanessa felt tears slide down her cheeks. I love you so much. I love you too, which is why I need to ask you something. He let go of her hands and pulled something from his pocket. A small box. Vanessa's heart stopped. Nathan. I know we've only been together 10 months. I know this is fast. I know all the logical reasons to wait. He opened the box. A simple ring. Nothing extravagant. Just a thin gold band with a small diamond. But I also know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I know Oliver wants you to be his real mom, not just his bonus mom. I know that waiting another year or 5 years or 10 years won't change how I feel. He looked at her. So I'm asking, will you marry me? Vanessa couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel the overwhelming rightness of this moment. Yes, she whispered. Yes, yes, yes. Nathan slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her, while the city lights twinkled below and their whole future spread out ahead of them. From inside the apartment, Oliver's voice rang out. Finally, I've been waiting forever. Can I come out now? Nathan laughed. You were supposed to stay in your room. I know, but this is way more interesting. Also, I want to see the ring. Oliver burst onto the balcony, looked at Vanessa's hand and nodded approvingly. Nice. Dad did good. I helped pick it out, by the way. You did? Vanessa asked. Yeah. He wanted to get something huge and expensive, and I was like, Dad, Vanessa's not about that anymore. She wants something real. So we got the real one. He grinned. I'm very wise. Yes, you are, Vanessa said, pulling him into a hug. Very wise indeed. They stood on the tiny balcony, the three of them, and for the first time in her life, Vanessa understood what her father had missed. This messy, complicated, beautiful love. This family that chose each other instead of being bound by blood. This feeling of belonging somewhere that had nothing to do with money or status or power. This was everything. The wedding was small, just a few people at the courthouse. Lisa and Danny from Hartwell, Jennifer from Walsh and Associates. Oliver as ring-bearer wearing a tie he'd picked out himself covered in dinosaurs. It's a formal occasion, he'd insisted. Formal dinosaurs. Nobody argued. When the judge asked if anyone objected, Oliver raised his hand. I object to how long this took. They've been in love forever and just now got married. That's inefficient. The judge smiled. Objection noted. Anyone else? Silence. Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Nathan kissed Vanessa while Oliver made gagging noises and their friends cheered. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. Afterward, they went to the same diner where they'd celebrated Vanessa's new job. Oliver ordered pie. Nathan and Vanessa ordered coffee. They talked and laughed and made plans for a honeymoon once they could afford it. Maybe next year, Nathan said. Or the year after, Vanessa added. Or we could just stay home and call it a honeymoon, Oliver suggested. Save money and I don't have to stay with a babysitter. Win-win. That's actually not a bad idea, Vanessa said. I know, I'm full of good ideas. You guys should listen to me more. They finished their pie and drove home as the sun set. When they pulled up to the apartment, rain started falling. Soft at first, then harder. Vanessa stood in the parking lot, face turned up to the sky, remembering another rainy night. Another version of herself. Lost. Broken. Ready to give up. Nathan came up beside her. You okay? Yeah, just thinking. About what? About how much can change in a year. How I was ready to die, and now I'm more alive than I've ever been. She looked at him. How you saved me. We saved each other. Maybe. Or maybe we were always meant to find each other. Two broken people stumbling around in the dark until we crashed into each other and realized we didn't have to be broken anymore. Oliver called from the building entrance. You guys coming? You're getting soaked. Yeah, Nathan called back. We're coming. But they stood in the rain a moment longer. Vanessa took Nathan's hand. He squeezed back. And together they walked inside. Inside to warmth and light, and a 10-year-old demanding hot chocolate, and arguing about whether superhero movies counted as educational programming. Inside to a life that wasn't perfect, but was perfectly theirs. Inside to second chances, and hard-won happiness, and the kind of love that only comes from choosing to be brave when everything says run. Her father had been wrong about so many things, but he'd been right about one. The strongest leaders knew when to fight. Vanessa had fought for her company, for her employees, for justice and dignity and basic human decency. But the most important fight had been for herself, for her own happiness, for the courage to let people in, even when it terrified her. That night, lying in bed next to Nathan while rain pattered against the window, Vanessa thought about all the versions of herself she'd been. The Ice Queen, the CEO, the whistleblower, the fighter. But her favorite version was the one she was now. The woman who loved a security guard, who burned grilled cheese and couldn't work a thermostat, who had a bonus son who counted her shoes and questioned her life choices. The woman who'd been saved and saved others in return. Thank you, she whispered. Nathan stirred. For what? For not driving past me that night. Thank you for stumbling into traffic where I could find you. That's a weird thing to be grateful for. Maybe, but I am. They fell asleep holding each other while rain washed the world clean, and Oliver dreamed about dinosaurs in the next room. And somewhere in the city, the Hearts Initiative kept running, kept helping families like Nathan's, kept proving that companies could be better. People could be better. The world could be better. One act of courage at a time. One person choosing kindness over profit. One security guard pulling a stranger from traffic and changing both their lives forever. The story didn't end with happily ever after, because real life didn't work that way. There would be more struggles, more fights, more moments of doubt and fear and wondering if they'd made the right choice. But they'd face it together, Nathan and Vanessa and Oliver. A family built on hope and second chances and the radical belief that people were worth fighting for. And when the morning came, when the sun rose on their first day as a married couple, Vanessa woke up and didn't see the peeling linoleum or the cramped space or the life she'd lost. She saw Nathan's face, Oliver's drawing on the fridge, the future stretching out before them, bright and uncertain and full of possibility. She saw a home, and she'd never been more grateful for a rainy night and a stranger who chose mercy over convenience and love over everything else. Because that choice had saved them both, and that was the only happy ending that mattered.